What am I supposed to say again? I blew my buffer. Hey everybody, this is Joel with Vspot Vapes, and I'm doing my first product review here on the Aspire Nautilus, just to prove that I have no problem saying I'm absolutely wrong about a product. My initial impression of these was not favorable, and I think a lot of that was based on what I'd heard from the old BDC coils, which was the bottom dual coils. But these are now coming with their new updated coils, which are the BVC, which are the bottom vertical coils. And in all honesty, I really like this thing. I did have some snafus out of the gate, and they're all my fault. So none of this issue that I had is any signal of poor quality. But I've got to say that I'm tremendously impressed with this Nautilus Aspire. We'll open one up here just to show you what comes with it. So it's your atomizer tank, a beauty ring, ego threaded, and an extra coil. They come preloaded with a 1.8 ohm coil, and then they give you a 1.6 coil extra. And I actually picked up a couple of extra coils as part of a promotion that I think we actually have going on right now as well, where if you buy one of these, they give you two 1.8 ohm coils as well. And of course I didn't bring those with me in front of the camera, so you'll just have to take my word for it that that actually comes with that. To give you some idea of how good this thing is, I'm just going to take a vape off of it right off the bat, so we can get an idea what the vapor production is here. Just like every kind of prefab atomizer, you don't want to run this at too high wattage. For these new BVCs, Aspire actually recommends, I think it was, what was it, 3 to 4.2 volts operating range on the 1.6 ohm, and then 4.2 to 5 volts on the 1.8 ohm, and I'm running a 1.8 ohm. I've got my box set to 10.2 watts, which gives me 4.3 volts, so I'm running right at the bottom range for this coil. So this is kind of standard vapor production. It does actually have, and I don't know if you can get in on this, Josh, or...
Yeah, I'll try to zoom in on that. There we go. Yeah.
So it's got this ring, and when I first saw this, I thought there's no way that these 4 settings are going to be sufficient for airflow. But oddly enough, they're great. I love using the big one because it gives a lot of vapor. I didn't think that would be enough. It maybe makes a whistle a little bit. But in all honesty, the vapor production out of this thing is great. Flavor is fantastic. Right now I've got some Vaporite cherry limeade in this, and I think that's fantastic, and that's one flavor that this thing really brings to life. So I'll give you an idea, enough flapping my gums, and just let you see the clouds that you can create off of this thing. Not bad for a prefab atomizer and coil. I mean, you can take some really big hits off of this thing and get some serious clouds if you wanted to. In all honesty, I haven't seen anything that creates vapor like this since the Aerotank Turbo. I mean, you really got to step up your game to get better vapor and flavor than something like this. I mean, in terms of a prefab atomizer, out of the box, pre-built coils, you know, this is honestly the best single head system I've seen or used. And the flavor is just, it's just fantastic. It's amazing. I can't stop hitting on this thing all day long. Every juice that I put in this just tastes absolutely fantastic. So I guess while I'm at it, I can talk about how my problems actually started with this, and we'll use this guy as a demo, I think, to show where all of my problems started and how I fixed them. So in reading the directions, it said, don't tighten this down too much or you'll crack the glass. So, you know, that was probably one mistake. And then the other mistake that I made, as I unscrew this, is of course me being curious and kind of being a bit of a Kangertech fanboy. You know, I had to take it apart completely when I first got it just to check it out and take a look at how the coils are built compared to the Kangertech, like AeroTank V2s and AeroTank Minis. And so when I unscrewed this, I don't think I screwed the coil all the way back in. The threading was a little rough on it, and this unit's actually just fine, so I could tell that it was threaded all the way. And then likewise, they don't put just an O-ring on it. They have this whole silicone gasket down on the bottom, and I was really terrified about potentially cracking the glass by tightening it down too much over top of it, because as you screw this in, it's really hard to see, but you can see that silicone base get compressed. And so I think I just didn't tighten everything down when I got it. So what had happened was I filled this sucker up, and I took a couple hits, and I was like, well, maybe I didn't let it sit long enough. Vapor production was okay, but it had a gurgle, which I thought was unusual since people just absolutely rave about these. And then I took a couple more hits that evening and then put the thing down on the kitchen counter, ready to go into bed, and just realized this thing is exactly meeting what I kind of expected. I didn't think it would be that great. So then the next morning I get up, and of course, because I had the largest air hole selected, everything had drained out of the air hole down my mod and drained out on the kitchen counter. Just an absolute huge mess. So I cleaned it all up, refilled it, and used it a couple more times, and I said, well, you know, maybe it's a little bit better this morning than it was last night. Maybe I've got it all tightened down. And then it wasn't really until that afternoon that I picked that guy back up and started using it with really conscientious efforts to stay away from drippers and whatnot, to give this a fair shake. And holy crap, this thing was just absolutely amazing. I've not been able to put this down while I'm on the go. This is now my new favorite on-the-go tank. I love this thing. No more leaks, no more gurgling, no major issues. Okay, so one of the things that I think is a little sketchy about this, that was part of my original reason for questioning the quality. If you look at the knurling on the top of this and I rotate this, you can see that it's done at an angle. And at first when I saw that, I thought it was maybe a machining error, like maybe the metal got fed wrong or something. But I'm assuming it's intentional because both the top and the bottom have it at that offset angle. Aesthetically, I think it takes away from it a little bit, but it's not a deal killer. It doesn't hurt the quality of the product whatsoever. I think really that's just there to give you something textured to hold on to when you unscrew it. So, you know, functionality is achieved. Aesthetics, personally, I'm kind of a straight and narrow kind of guy. So I would have liked to have seen that knurling, you know, completely parallel with the base of the unit. But, you know, minor quibble. If that's the worst thing I have to say about this, still pretty fantastic device. This was Joel. No, this is Joel with Vspot Vapes, and I encourage everyone to check out this Nautilus Aspire. If you don't buy it from us, buy it from someone, but hopefully you've enjoyed this review. If so, feel free to subscribe to our channel. You can follow me personally on Twitter at VSpotJoel is my handle. Do they even call it a handle? No.
Nah, that's more of a BBS thing.
That's a BBS thing.
Yeah. Super nerd.
Super nerd, whatever. It's cool.
No, that's cool.
But yeah, totally subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow me on Twitter at VSpotJoel. And like us on Facebook, or what else am I supposed to say?
Yeah, it's pretty much good. Yeah.
Shit, I don't think I got any of that out
No, it's
consecutively.
perfect. I like the handle though.
The handle?
So do we just go to vspotvapes.com and ask to follow Sysop?
Most definitely. Most
If
definitely.
anyone knows that reference, then we'll give you a free bottle of juice. Kidding.
We're gonna go bankrupt.
Yeah, a lot of super nerds who vape.
Yeah. So, anyway, yeah, I love this thing. This is great. If you don't buy it from us, buy it from somebody.
If you don't get help from us, get help somewhere. Vape on.
Vape on.